So we already know that addiction is a bullshit concept. We already know that people change their preferences for different things throughout their lives. So I've had a lot of messages recently about guys telling me about their past experiences with things. I'm just going to list them out now, as well as some other examples that come to my mind. So firstly, a guy said to me, he was a meat eater beforehand, right? And as he went through life, he watched documentaries about vegetarianism. He looked up more information about it, and slowly, he got convinced about the vegetarianism, and he stopped eating meat. Now, before, right, when he ate meat, he loved eating meat. After he learned about this thing in this documentary and that documentary, his mind changed, and he didn't like eating meat anymore. He went off the idea. This is the same as with PMO. If you learn certain things about PMO, right, and I'm not talking about things that scare you, I'm not talking about the negative effects of PMO, that shit doesn't motivate us. We're motivated towards having a better life. So with PMO, right, what really is going to motivate us is lowering the benefits of PMO and getting a more realistic view of what it does to you physically, right? Increasing your heart rate, sexual arousal perhaps. But the PMO content doesn't necessarily cause sexual arousal, so it's a little bit confusing. I'll get to that in a future video. But what PMO doesn't do for you, it's probably better to address that. It doesn't make the stress easier, doesn't take away any emotional pain of life. That's all an inside job. That's nothing to do with the external world. It doesn't relieve loneliness. It doesn't help you sleep. These are all beliefs, right? These are all things in your mind, and you can change your mind. And when those beliefs go, your motivation changes. You start to see PMO, instead of the PMO being this giant disco ball, ooh, it's kind of like, oh, is it even that good? And then you gas up the benefits of quitting PMO, being abstinent, just like this young man did with vegetarianism. He saw his life as a vegetarian as better. Maybe he thought, I'm going to be a more moral person, right? You see how this works? It was the same with when you stopped watching cartoons when you were younger. Maybe you watched cartoons when you were younger, little kids programs. You might have woken up early in the morning, like how I did, and be desperate to watch cartoons in the morning. And then when you turn like in your early teens, the cartoons ain't that fun anymore. You move on to different things. You move on to more adult programs. Maybe you're like 14 and you watch The Inbetweeners or something. That's what I did, yeah. Like getting into more adult territory. When you were younger, perhaps, video games. I don't know if you guys play video games, but there are video games that you played when you were younger that you were enamored with. For me, it's Super Mario Bros. Or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, these online games. I'd bang out games like that. RuneScape Classic. Do you play RuneScape? No, you fucking don't. Did you play RuneScape? Yeah, you fucking did. Why don't you play RuneScape now? It's the same RuneScape. It's because you've changed. Get it? You no longer see benefits in RuneScape. Before you thought RuneScape, man, I'm going to get the best armor. Everyone's going to be everyone's going to be impressed with me. I'm going to get to the highest rank. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to get the best character. And now, right? Does that appeal to you now? No, because you kind of think, well, if I get the best character, it doesn't really mean anything. It's not so motivating. Do you know what people would be impressed by? If I get big muscles in the gym. What would help me? What would make me feel good? Getting a lot of women. See how the goals change? I can imagine when you turn 40, getting big muscles and going to the gym, that's no longer a priority for you. You're thinking about, I want to have good kids, I want to give them a good life. Your goals change. Shit changes. It's normal. It's part of life. And suddenly, but with substances, we start to think really differently. Like, porn is this magical thing that's, it's like it cures stress like no other. Or it gives you pleasure greater than any other. That's one of the most insidious ones. It's the Coolidge effect, and how in all this evolutionary arguments about how it hijacks the brain and how it gives you more dopamine than anything else. It's just bunk. It's bollocks. It's not true. It doesn't give you more pleasure than anything. It's bollocks. Not true. It doesn't addict you. So nothing addicts you in life, actually. Nothing at all. Watch my other vids to find out about that. If RuneScape was so addictive, why are we not still playing RuneScape to this day? Why did I stop playing RuneScape at around age, 12 maybe? Stop playing RuneScape? If RuneScape was so addictive, if RuneScape gave me hella dopamine, why did I not continue playing RuneScape, unable to stop for the rest of my life? Why did I change games? Why did I stop playing computer games at some point during my late 20s? Not even in my late 20s, my late teens. Late teens, early 20s, I stopped playing computer games. You see? With addictions, with porn, it's no different. It is no different. The only difference is the lies you've been fed. That's it. You've been fed bollocks and you've been convinced, utterly convinced. I know because I was there. I was utterly convinced that when I watched porn, it was greasing those neurological slides in my brain and I was losing control. And I thought I'd had to fight urges for the rest of my life until I got to 90 days, at which point the urges would subside and I could never watch porn again. Bullshit. I could play RuneScape right now for a day. I could force myself to play RuneScape all day, and the next day I could uninstall it. I won't go near it again. The same thing can be true with you with porn. If you get a realistic perspective on it, and you stop viewing yourself as a fucking addict. And I'm not here lecturing you and preaching you. I don't want to you don't have to believe me. Don't believe me. Read the Freedom Model. Go through the actual information, which the information there is golden. And really think about yourself. Is this true? Don't believe me based on what my words are saying. Read the book and deliberate on your own. The conclusions that you come to on your own are going to be way stronger. That's why preaching is bollocks. When you see a preacher in the street preaching religious shit, are you convinced or do you just think, fuck you? You just you've got to read the information and come to the conclusion on your own. You can take a horse to water, you can't make it drink. I'm not here to make you drink, man. I'm here to just guide you to the book and give you information that you can then think about, food for thought. As I said, if RuneScape was addictive, I'd still be playing it now. And RuneScape has all of the signs of addictiveness, addictive video game, right? Massively online multiplayer, competitive, has that leveling up thing. It was huge. And people were addicted to RuneScape, but they weren't addicted to RuneScape. They just had a heavy preference for it. If you see someone who plays football so much, are they addicted to football? By whose standard? How much football do you need to play per week till you're addicted? How much porn do you need to watch per week before you're addicted? If I watch porn once every 6 months, am I addicted? If I watch every 2 months, am I addicted? At what point? Oh, it's when you can't stop. That's when you're addicted. But the thing is that the reason why you can't stop isn't because you're addicted, it's because you don't want to stop, because of the beliefs you see in porn, and because of you believing you're addicted. That's what's key. That's why you find it hard to stop, and that's why you have these desires. Not urges. Urges don't come from the outside, they come from the inside. It's an inside job. You desire things. Because if you think porn is helping you stress, when you're stressed, you'll desire it. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out, but guess what? It is extremely hard, even if you're an intelligent guy, to leave the cult of NoFap and to change your mind. It's smart people get indoctrinated into cults all the time, and it was no different with me. I consider myself a smart dude, fell for it like a mug, mugged off. Me, duped completely. I'm really happy now that I've seen the truth. TFM, the Freedom Model. So I just see porn as like a little gimmicky thing now. It's just like a little kind of thing you can do. Do I really want to do it? I don't really want to, man. I'm cool. Yeah. Read the Freedom Model, link in the description. It's free. It's completely free. I'm not affiliated with them or anything. After you've read that, get in contact with me on Telegram for anything that you're confused with. Anything you're confused with that isn't in the book, or that you kind of you can't really find an answer for it in the book. Message me that. I want those juicy, difficult questions. Things that aren't in the book. If there's answers in the book, go to those first, because then I don't have to repeat stuff that's already in the book. I don't want to be parroting shit that's already in the book. I want to be answering those tricky questions, because that's where I feel like I can really help you guys for free. That's it. Read that book, man. It's gold.